You're not buying a school zone, you're buying your future buyer's decision filter. And if you ignore that, you can leave $60,000 on the table when you sell. Even if you've never had a single kid in their house, stay with me. Because this is the most expensive mistake I see smart buyers make in Charlotte. It has nothing to do with education. Let me ask you something. When you bought your car, did you think about resale value? Most people do. They pick the color that sells better, they keep the mileage low, and they get the maintenance records together. But when those same people buy a house, which is 5, 10, 20 times the price of a car, they forget to think about who's going to want this thing after them. And that's where school zones come in. I'm not here to tell you which school zone is the best or which school is the best. I'm not here to rank districts. That's not my job, and honestly, that's not the point. The point is this: in Charlotte, 2 identical homes, same square footage, same year built, same number of bedrooms, 1 mile apart, can have a $60,000 difference in resale value. Sometimes more. The only difference, which side of the school zone line they sit on. And here's the part that catches people off guard. You don't need to have kids. You don't need to care about schools at all, but your future buyer probably will, and their decision starts with the school zone filter before they ever look at your kitchen. Let me walk you through what actually happens when someone searches for a home in Charlotte, because once you see this, you can't unsee it. Step 1, a buyer goes on Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com, whatever. They type in Charlotte, they set their budget, they set their bedroom count. Step 2, and this is where it gets interesting. About 70% of buyers with kids and a surprising number without kids filter by school rating. They click great schools or they sort by school score. They set it to 7 and above, maybe 8 and above. Step 3, your house either shows up or it doesn't. That's it. That's the whole game. Your house doesn't get rejected. It never even gets seen. It gets filtered out before a human being even lays eyes on it. Think about that. You could have the most beautiful home on a street, updated kitchen, new roof, perfect yard. Doesn't matter. If the school score attached to your address is a 4, a huge chunk of buyers will never know your house exists. They didn't decide they didn't like your house. They never got a chance to decide. And that's not a school problem, that's a visibility problem. And visibility drives demand. And demand drives price. Now let me make this specific to Charlotte, because Charlotte has something a lot of cities don't. We have a patchwork. In some cities, you've got good school districts and bad school districts, and they're clearly separated. You know where the line is, but Charlotte's not like that. It's a little more complicated. In Charlotte, you can be in a neighborhood that feels amazing. It has great restaurants nearby, new development coming in, property values climbing, and then you check the school assignment and it's a 3 out of 10. And one street over, literally across the road, the school assignment is an 8. I've seen this happen in Plaza Midwood. I've seen it in University area. I've seen it in NODA. The school zone lines in Charlotte do not follow the lines you'd expect, and they don't follow trendy neighborhoods. They don't follow the new construction. They follow their own map. And if you don't check that map before you buy, you're making a bet you don't even know you're making. So here's a real scenario I've seen play out. A buyer, no kids, early 30s, buys a beautiful home in a growing area of Charlotte. Great price, loves the neighborhood, lives there for 4 years, life changes, time to sell. They list it and it sits, not because the house is bad, not because the market is bad, but because the school zone attached to that address score is low. And majority of buyers in that price range are young families who filter by school rating first. The house one street over in the higher rated school zone sold in 9 days for $55,000 more. Same neighborhood, same vibe, same coffee shop, different school zone line, different outcome. And that's not a housing problem. That's a resale problem that you could have avoided on day one. Now here's where it gets even more nuanced. And I need you to hear this part. I'm not saying one school is better than the other. I'm not even qualified to make that call. And school quality is way more complicated than a number on a website. What I'm saying is that perception drives behavior, whether the school is actually bad or not, and buyer behavior drives your home value. It doesn't matter if the school with a 4 rating is doing other incredible things, and if the number on Zillow says 4, most buyers scroll by either way. That's reality, fair or not, that's how people shop. And this works in a different direction too. A school zone with a high rating creates a floor under your property value, even in a down market. Even when interest rates are high, even when everything else is uncertain. Because buyer demand is that school zone stays consistent. Think of it like an insurance policy. If you didn't know you were buying or not buying, when you buy in a strong school zone, you're not paying for your kids' education. You're paying for consistent buyer demand when you sell. You're paying for a shorter time on the market. You're paying for leverage in negotiations. And when you skip that filter because you don't have kids, you're not saving money. You're just borrowing risk from your future self. So here's what I tell every buyer I work with in Charlotte. Whether you have kids, want kids, or never plan to have kids, or even if you don't want to see kids, number one, check out the school zone assignment for every home you're seriously considering. Not the nearest school, the assigned school. Those are two different things in Charlotte. CMS, which is Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools, has a specific assignment map. Use it, don't guess. Number two, look up the rating. I don't care what site you use, great schools, niche, whatever. Just look it up and compare it to other homes you're considering. If one home is in a zone rated 8 and another in a 4, you need to understand that gap isn't just about education, it's about future demand for your home. Number three, ask me or your agent this question. What's the average days on market for homes in this school zone versus the one 2 miles away? That number will tell you everything you need to know. If homes in zone 1 sell in 10 days and homes in another zone sell in 45 days, that's not a coincidence. That's the filter at work. Number 4, think about your exit before your entry. Do I like this house? No. Say who's going to want this house and how many of them are there. If the answer is still a lot of people will want this house because it checks every filter, including school zone, you're in a strong position. If the answer is, well, it's great if you don't care about schools, you're just eliminating a massive chunk of your future buyer pool. And a smaller buyer pool means less competition for your home when you need to sell. And less competition means lower offers. Lower offers mean less equity in your pocket. Who wants that? So let me bring this all the way back. The question I started with was, I don't have kids. I don't really care about school districts. And the answer is, you're asking the wrong question. The right question is, does my future buyer care about school districts? And in Charlotte, the answer is almost always yes, because this is a family town, right? So you're not buying a school for your kid, you're buying for demand of your home in the future. You're buying visibility on the search results page. You're buying a shorter time in the market and a stronger offer when you're ready to move on. The school zone isn't about education, it's about economics. And the buyers who understand that, they're the ones who build wealth in Charlotte real estate, and they are the ones who win. The ones who don't, they find out 4 years later when the house sits on the market and they can't figure out why. That's not a school problem, that's a strategy problem. And now you know better. If you're looking at homes in Charlotte and you want to know which school zones are driving the strongest resale values right now, DM me school zones and I'll walk you through it. That's what your Charlotte realtor is here for. And if this changed how you think about buying homes, share it with me or with someone else who's house hunting right now. It might save them tens of thousands of dollars and definitely will save you time on the market later on.